We talk about breakers in the hobby. I know you recently did a deal at the National with Backyard, right?
We'll talk about that next week. That's fine. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Some people thought certain things about that. I wanted to give you some time to speak to that in whatever way you wanted to, and just talk about breaking overall. Kind of your thoughts on breaking.
Breaking, man, breaking. I have my moments when I like breaking, but I feel like when a new product comes out, it might be fun because I like to watch things come out of the boxes. So maybe in the beginning I might break, but casually breaking, I'm not a casual breaker. I'm kind of
Yeah,
a pro breaker. It's like if I feel like doing it, I'll do it. But you know, I mean, shout out to the people who do well in it. I don't usually do well, so I usually
and
don't
there are
do it.
people out here that do very well.
Yeah,
Very.
I'm not one of those guys that do well. So because I historically don't do well, I don't usually do it. But to talk about backyard breaks, they came over to my table. We did a deal. It was the second time I did one with them. I told you I did that other trade with them. They talked about it on social media.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny because he was just like, man, I can post you on my page, man, and get you some followers. I was just like, man, it's not that deep. I'm good. but but it was just really funny. So the second time after we did a deal the first time, we talked about it. And we did a deal. They filmed it. And I was like, all right, well, I'll do the deal, but you gotta dance and you gotta do it on my feed. What's funny is I know people have their own opinion about backyard breaks. I think people make mistakes. I think people are sensitive in this space. I think people should kind of fall back from their sensitivity. I think what they're doing is amazing. Like they're doing what most of us will not do. They won't. And what's funny is they're still taking the hate and they still smiling and still doing it. That speaks volumes to me because I feel like I couldn't take that criticism without cussing somebody out. They on my page. They was on my page when people were judging them on my page and was like, like laughing out loud, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like didn't cuss nobody out on my page, didn't say nothing. And I thought that, so to me, I say that to say that shout out to Backyard Breaks from one aspect of it, right? They're promoting a hobby. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I agree with everything because you'll never agree with everybody on everything because that's what makes us individuals. But I think that for what they're getting us brand awareness. They're getting us brand awareness. They're exciting. And guess what? They're appealing to the kids. They were at nationals taking pictures with kids, doing tons of giveaways. I say, you can't decide on who your customers are, Raphael. They wanted that Kyle Trash Gold rookie. Ah, good. All right, that's interesting. You say that. That's cool. I don't really care. But I understand they wanted the Kyle Trash. That's cool, right? That's fine. They wanted the Kyle Trash. That's one take on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other aspect of it, I mean, that's fine. That was the business of that. But I think that what we're talking about is we're talking about why people left negative comments on my page and why people have this negative perception about them. What they did was wrong. But I think what they've done since then is they've tried to, get better at it. We talking about young kids, man. Like they probably in their mid-20s, right? And some of the biggest breakers in this industry were platinum breaks and they're in their 40s, 50s. So of course they've had a lot of time to get better at it. And even then, I mean, even then, Rose recently, I think Platinum Breaks had a situation where they talked, but they had a mix up. So I think I say that to say nobody's perfect in this space, regardless of what people may sit here and say. Nobody is perfect. So I think that we should just, I ain't gonna say like if you feel a certain type of way about them, I think you should say something to them. And if not, then let it go. I mean, I think all this like sensitive stuff that people like how their opinion about things. I think they should like they were at the Nationals. They had nowhere to hide. They had nowhere to run. You could have sat here and told them exactly how you felt. I did want to elaborate a little bit more on the backyard break situation, but I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it because I wasn't ready. I wasn't actually ready to talk about that today because I was like I decided I wanted to talk about it on my channel. I was gonna talk about it then because I was actually going to invite them on my show. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure they'll go ahead and be on my show, and then I'll talk about the backyard break situation. And then the thing is, though, so for the people out there that have negative, I will say this: for the people that have negative things about people, like people will have their own perception about me, right? But I tell them I'm not hard to find. I'm at every show that's a popular show. If you feel some type of way about me, you can talk to me. I'm an open book. If you say you don't like me, I'll say, man, I appreciate you and I still love you. You know what I'm saying? But I might even ask you like, why? You know, tell me why. You know what I'm saying? But if you tell me why, then I might say, okay, well, I get it. I might feel the same way.
Let me ask you this, right? So do you think that, but are most members of the hobby that I've come across, do you think they will come up to you and explain that? Do you think they would talk to you about that?
Nah. This not the type of most people in this industry are very non-confrontational. I have done, let's see, I've been on Clubhouse before. I felt Clubhouse was probably the most vocal that I felt like I heard a lot of people.
Okay.
You know, we used to have a minorities in a hobby. I used to run a minorities in a hobby chat that I'm probably gonna end up bringing back soon. Just haven't had time, but bring that back to be able to talk about these questions. But I think most people, they won't have it. But I think in like when you can kind of throw your stone and run, because I've heard situations where people will talk in these clubhouses and say one thing and then go to another clubhouse and say the complete opposite, or say, hey, this is what they were talking about in this other one, and then they kind of bash it instead of like addressing it right then and there. You know, I'm this type of person, if I say something, man, if I feel a certain type of way, I'm gonna say how I feel. I've always kind of been that way. Like, even like you'll see me lash out a little bit on my Instagram. If I don't like something, oh man, I hate, like, why y'all gonna act like that? Like when they talked about backyard breaks on my page, I made it very clear my stance on that. I typed out a whole little thing about my perception of that. And I said, we should be embracing them. If you don't like it, tell them how you feel. You know what I mean? I'm sure that they would probably be receptive to it and perceptive to it. Like, you know, like, oh man, I'm sorry. You know, we made a mistake. We trying to get better. I think we should all be trying to get better at the end of the day. Like, I made several mistakes in this industry, but I think if you hold me accountable for the things I did in my past, you might miss the fact that I might have grew a little bit for the future. You might miss some things. So I think that we can't hold on. It can't be one of those. I feel like people in this industry treat you like ex-girlfriends. It's like, it's crazy.
What we got?
Backyard breaks, they whack though. I feel you, man. If you don't like them, man, don't support them, man. But at the same time, though, they got a big platform, man. And I think if you can help them learn to become better, maybe you'll break with them. You know, maybe you'll like them in the future. But right now, you know, they're young kids, man. Let them have fun.